So welcome to Weightlifting 101. So if one of your goals is to get stronger, I'm pretty sure you want to make sure that you are lifting up weights correctly, that you're using the correct technique to actually lift up the barbell, kettlebell, power bag, whatever it is that you want to use. Knowing how to lift up a barbell correctly is really, really important because you don't want to get injured on your journey, right? So I'm going to take you through some basics today in this video. I'm going to show you how to lift up a barbell off the floor, so any form of weight from the floor, how to lift them up correctly, how to actually set up the squat rack and put it in, how to actually put weight onto the bar and take it off, and a few other little keys in here as well. So I hope this video is really, really helpful for you guys. So let's get into it. Hi guys, and welcome back to Fit with T. I hope you guys are good. Yes, it has been a hot minute. Took a little break. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for those who have continued to support the channel. Thank you to those of you that have subscribed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's start off with talking about how to lift up a barbell from the floor. Now, if you have a barbell on the floor, you want to make sure that you stand pretty much about shoulder width apart and always squat down with your back nice and flat. You don't want to hunch over, guys. That's how you can end up getting injured. I'm only going to show you the correct demonstration because I don't want to reiterate the wrong demonstration. So make sure you squat down, back nice and flat, and lift up the bar off the floor. Now, if you're using a barbell, the bar will be really low to the ground because you won't have any weights on it to lift it up. If you have weights on the bar already, then that's actually going to decrease the distance that you have to squat. But regardless, you want to squat down and keep your back nice and flat, a nice deep squat, and lift up that bar. Now, I'm going to also show you how to actually put the weights onto the bar. If you haven't experienced weightlifting before using free weights, then you can just skip to the next timestamp. But if you haven't, then I encourage you to watch this because there's a few things that you want to make sure that you do. Now, if you're putting on discs, so the big disc onto the bar, you want to do one side at a time, okay? So what you want to do is make sure that you squat down and lift up the bar with one of your hands while you put the weight on with the other hand, and the same thing when you do the other side. Now, when you do the other side, it will be a little bit easier because you have the other weight that's cropping it up. But the first side, it will be really low to the ground as I said before. So you want to make sure that you squat down, lift up with the other hand, and put the disc on. If you've got more than one disc, you might have to do that a couple of times. Now, we use what we call clips, and this is to help keep the weight on the bar. So you want to make sure that you use these. You get different types of clips. I'm showing you two different types here. One where you just kind of squeeze it and push it on. The other one where it kind of closes like a grip sort of thing, and your gym should have those for you. So before we continue, if you are enjoying this video, guys, please give this video a big thumbs up to help me accelerate my channel, to let the algorithm know, and so that more people can see this video. It really does help out, and it lets me know as well that you actually found this video useful. And let me know in the comments, guys, if you have any other questions about the things you're learning in this video, about any other like gym, weightlifting style questions. Let me know so that I can actually make videos to answer that for you guys as well. Of course, your grip on the bar is going to depend on what exercise you're doing, and you may have or you may have never noticed that a barbell usually has notches on it. Now, if you're just using one of the gym barbells that are set weight, then you may not have this. Now, but if you're using an Olympic lifting bar, then you will see the notches on the bar. You've got a dark space in the middle. You find the next notch comes to another dark space, then you've got a third ring notch on it as well. Now, these allow you to have different grips on the bar. Like I said, depending on what you are doing, you have a different grip, but it also allows you to make sure that you have your hands equal distance apart, or equal from the center, equal from the edge. But for most of your exercises, you'll have it at the second notch, which is the one after the middle. That's the one that you would use for most of your exercises, but sometimes you may need to have a wider grip if you're going to do something like a hip snatch, which I'm demonstrating here for you guys. Then that might be an example of when you use a wide grip, but for the most part you'll use just the normal grip, or sometimes a narrow grip if you're doing something like a sumo squat, for example. So what about putting it into the rack? Now, you want to make sure that you set up the rack so that it's the appropriate height for you. And depending on whether you're going to do a front squat or back squat, for example, some bars you may be using a Smith bar, then you do not need to worry about any of this whatsoever. But if you are using free weights, and let's say the bar is not already in the rack, then you want to do something called a clean. I may do a separate video showing you exactly how to do a clean, because that's quite a basic move that you want to use. Being able to get the bar from the floor up into the rack is really important. So if you want to see a video specifically showing you how to do a power clean, then leave a comment so that I can actually make that for you guys. But I'm just showing you in slow motion. You start with the bar hanging down, You raise up your shoulders, bring up your elbows, and then you snap your hands and your elbows underneath the bar so that you have it in the front squat position that you'd hold it. And then you can actually just walk into and put it in. Now, if the bar's already in the rack, then you can just start from there, and depending on whether you're doing a front squat or a back squat, for example, which is the basic move that most people use the squat rack for, then you can put your head underneath and have the bar on your back for a back squat, or you can put your arms underneath for the front squat and then walk out of the rack. Now, once you finish your exercise, you want to make sure that you walk all the way into the rack until you feel the bar hit the rack so that you know that it's safe, definitely safe in the rack. Then you can drop it down into the notches that carry it. That's really important, especially if you are squatting by yourself and you don't have anyone to spot you. Then you really want to make sure that you hear or feel the barbell hit the rack before you drop it down, because accidents have happened where, especially if you're lifting heavy and you think the bar's in the rack but it's not, you find yourself tipping and it can be quite scary and dangerous. So make sure you walk all the way into the rack, feel the bar hit the rack before you place it down. So another thing you want to think about when you are taking the weights off of the squat rack, let's say you've got more than one disc on either side, you've got 2 20s, 2 15s and 2 10s. 2 20s, that's 60, 2 15s, that brings it up to 90, and then 2 10s, that brings it up to 110. Let's say you decided to squat 110 kg today, and now it's time for you to take the weights off of the bar. What do you need to do to make sure that it's safe? You want to go from one side to the other, to the other, to the other. You want to go back and forth, evenly take off the weights, because if you decide to take all the weights off of one side, it can mean that the bar can topple, and that can lead to a very dangerous accident. So that's a little bonus tip that I wanted to add in there for you guys, just in case you are lifting heavy, you are super strong straight away in your journey, or you've built up and that comes to that case, then that's something that you want to keep in mind to make sure that you balance the weights out when you are taking them off. So I really hope this video was helpful for you guys. If it was, please give it a big thumbs up to let me know. Maybe now you actually want some exercises that you can do in the gym, then I encourage you to check out this video where I talk about how to do a Romanian deadlift with proper form, which is a really great exercise to help you with that posterior chain, your hamstring, which loads of people do not do. I encourage you to check that video out, guys, and I will see you guys next Friday.